I thought of you last night, Chris Cote, because a lot of people, after Joe Biden was talking about resort fees and sort of the sneaky fees that end up on bills, my guess is that you have a lot of thoughts on this, that you would have like a personal pet peeve of some cost that ends up, that you end up paying for, a resort fee.
Towel fee.
Well, B&Bs are doing this now where they have a cleaning fee and you're like, well, clean your own place. If you're going to treat it like a hotel, build it into the cost. Don't give me all sorts of other charges with this.
I had a back and forth with the last Airbnb I was at, where I left there and the more it was in Buffalo, and me and my friends were there. But in the morning, I cleaned that place up. I filled up every trash can. I put all the excess trash outside, like next to the trash can. And I got like a review of like they left it, and I wrote back. I was like, "Did you?" I very rarely get.
You really haven't explained what it is you wrote back. You just sort of.
Oh, I don't remember.
You aggressively.
You typed with your fingers.
I sent I could pull it up. I don't remember exactly what I said.
Let's go ahead and pull it up. Let's pull it up and hear what you are claiming is a rage-filled email from you. I would like to listen to wherever it is that this particular adventure will take us. I am just waiting around to see. Really, it's the only thing I want from everything Meadowlark Media is spending at the Super Bowl to get God Bless Football to roar to life. I just want to know if Stugotz has mathematically eliminated the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, everybody from winning a championship in his personal record book. Like, is this a giant victory for Stugotz because unless they win, because he just continues to rip Chris Paul and Kevin Durant as one of the loudest critics of both of those people anywhere to be found in America.
We should send him out to the Phoenix Suns arena and record two different versions of like what happens to the Phoenix Suns, and we'll just hold one. One is, yeah, you won, but it's still not a title in my personal record book. And the other is just him guffawing at Kevin Durant for having lost before winning a championship. And Chris Paul. I mean, these are two all-time Stugotz villains that are combining together that could potentially win a title that won't count.
He should go from wherever he is at the Super Bowl to just wander around the Phoenix facility talking to it. Just talking to the facility about how they'll never have a championship.
Which I just learned is called the Footprint Center. I was completely unaware of that one.
I think I've told you before that where it is that I saw my first sports knowledge slipping is I don't know any of the stadium names anymore. Numbers went after that. As you've noticed recently, names are beginning to depart. But as the aging process gets worse and worse on me, I often don't know baseball managers anymore either. Don't care who they are.
Yeah, right now is the easiest time to remember South Florida sporting arenas because the hockey and basketball arenas are named after regions and not actual companies anymore because they haven't been able to sponsor either one.
It's funny you say that because just yesterday a friend of mine asked me for UFC tickets for the fight here in April, and I asked him, where is it? And he said the Miami-Dade Arena or whatever it's called now. And I'm like, where is it? Like, because I'm like, oh, they're not naming it FTX
I still call it the AAA.
Because I thought they might have that at the University of Miami, but the University of Miami is not big enough to hold a UFC event.
No, no way. Yeah, no, this is going to be.
But it used to be back when Kimbo Slice fought Tank Abbott. That's where they ended up fighting. Not that was UFC, but when you're doing a regional event, Miami's been really bad at UFC.
Yeah. Well, I think the last major UFC card where they actually tried maybe a pay-per-view was the FLA Live Arena. And
it was UFC 42. So think about, we're at 287 for the one in Miami. That was UFC 42.
It's never worked here.
Monster card.
Yes,
Monster
global card.
I cannot wait for it.
It has never worked here, though.
This one will work.
This
one's gonna work. They have Masvidal sub-headlining.
Yeah.
No, all I'm saying, Masvidal and
Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns.
Is it going to be a war, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes, but when Miami has
hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to kill. Both guys, Dan, hard to kill.
Yep. And Izzy Pereira too.
Hard
Absolute
to kill.
battle.
Dan, hard to kill.
Masvidal, not hard to beat recently. And
Colby wrestled into the ground. I mean, that was a tough one.
Yeah, and he won the war.
Mm-hmm.
By getting arrested and getting another.
No, by getting that 2-piece and a soda, Dan. Not arrested. Forget about arrested. He hit it with that pop pop.
He did.
See ya.
Outside of Poppy's Steak.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
a great.
Ya lo tiene, papi. Ahí está.
Little Scooby-Doo pop.
Miami has not done these well. Dana White, I'm surprised he's coming back here because our customer base for these.
What, the free state of Florida?
So fast, Dan. It's going to sell out
I mean,
so fast.
I can't. Ron's going to be front row, man. I'm
We all are.
turning a blind eye. Do not photograph me there, please. I will never live it down.
Because of the conflicts in your moral sports stances?
Yeah. You know what? He's QAnon and all that shit, but I love me a Jorge Masvidal fight. God damn it, I love that guy. I become cocky Canes fan whenever I see Jorge Masvidal fighting on a card. It is. Oh, what am I going to be? Am I going to be rattled by a bunch of red hat wearing Cubans? Come on. I'm from Miami, dude. Yeah, it's all right. For one night.
We'll be all right.
We'll be okay.
Let's hear what Chris,
Kill him!
let's hear what Chris Cote's rage sounds like when, again, to set this up, these people have said you have not cleaned up.
It was the phrase excessive mess. That was what the review said. And when I spent 2 hours in the morning cleaning up this place.
I got to be honest, though, when it comes to you just cleaning, hygiene, any kinds of cleaning, I can see a scenario, you more likely than most of us here, where you're cleaning for 2 hours and there's still an excessive mess
I'm telling you, don't sleep on my cleaning skills. I'm a good cleaner. It's one like, me and my wife, we have our tasks in the house. Mine is cleaning the downstairs. You give me 20 minutes, that downstairs is mwah. You could eat a meal off that floor. I can clean.
I'm guessing you have.
Maybe in the right setting. But here we go. All right, so
but you say you're good at cleaning. These people say you're not.
Right. Well, I didn't, in their defense, I didn't like mop and stuff like I would at my house. Like this was just more picking up all the trash, putting stuff in garbages. You don't mop ever?
But this was
mop at an Airbnb. That's why they're charging me $700.
That's my point. That's why at my house I would mop and stuff, and it would be like actually clean. This was more just I thought
Do you have
that
a mop or a Swiffer?
I have both.
You have a mop?
I do. I don't.
Like
You're right. I use
little
the Swiffer.
dunking?
I do have
Little
one in my
Fantasia?
garage, but I don't use it.
I love a mop.
The
I'm
Mickey
more-
Mouse Fantasia mop?
Yeah.
No one does that.
We have the
you get
bottle.
the Cuban, the
we have the
palo.
bottle with
you
the
you
con
get
la toalla, and you cut a hole in it, and then you put it in.
Un palo y un trapo.
Yeah, un palo y un trapo.
I
Y
was
fabuloso.
I was
Dale.
under the impression.
Fabuloso.
I was under the impression with Airbnbs, you just have to gather all the trash, put it somewhere, and then someone will come in, dispose of that trash, and then actually clean. So I'm doing everything I need to do.
If I may, just to set this up for the audience, is it you and those dudes that were shirtless in Buffalo staying there all weekend?
Yeah,
drinking,
and 2 other friends. There's 5 of us in there.
5 apes.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of White Claw cans and Miller Lite cans, but I gathered them. I'm telling you, there was nothing on the counters, nothing in the fridge. It was all gathered in trash cans. And this guy hit me with the review of they left excessive mess. So then my response to this is that now I'm in the DMs going back at him.
But you weren't fined for this, or they didn't take
It wasn't a fine.
deposit
It was
or
more
anything?
it was just review.
It's just a bad review.
Now,
so the next time
I
it's
go,
like a tie goes to the runner situation, they're going to look at that review and be like, I'm going to give it to the other person.
Exactly. That's why I was like, this is affecting my reputation here. So I write back, excessive mess, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point.
With your eyebrows
Wait,
up
I
like
think
that?
the exclamation point goes before the question.
I just throw a bunch of them. It's like I don't have any order to it.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatard Show. Do you go exclamation point, question mark, or do you go question mark, exclamation point when you're putting together a rage-filled punctuation?
Question
but you're
mark
a writer.
first.
What is?
I
what
do
is
the question because it's actually a question, but then my rate, I also want you to know I'm angry.
Really?
It's I'm asking.
What's proper?
It's interesting that you would ask me that question because it's literally something I've never done in print. So
Really? You've
were-
never done Pat Riley. What are you doing?
I don't think you technically, grammatically, you probably you can't use. It's like you either use a period or a question mark.
If I were to do it, I would go question mark, exclamation point, but I would just keep typing them as fast as I could.
There's
Okay,
no,
that's what he did.
Yeah, it's just they're all over the place.
Yes.
It's like 2, 1,
It's
2,
like
3.
dozens
I gotta
of
find
them.
out what's grammatically correct here.
Well, it's a good thing that Mike Schur is joining us here in a moment.
Wait. I got to hear the rest of
Yeah,
this.
there's more.
Yeah,
It's a
I
whole
know,
paragraph.
but he's a
let's hurry up and do
professional
this.
writer, and so he can help us sort through some of this. But right now, you have raised an eyebrow, and you've hit them with multiple question marks and exclamation points because you're indignant.
Right. Excessive mess. We put all the garbage in the small trash bins and left the extra trash near the front doors in boxes right next to the trash. You need bigger trash cans if you're going to be this sensitive. What should we have done with the trash once the tiny trash bins were filled?
And
And then he responded, This part, I just didn't know this next part. There are 3 large trash bins located behind on the back patio. And it's just like, I didn't know. I never went out back.
So you
should have told you that.
He goes, I wasn't trying to be offensive, just honest. There was food, garbage left in bedroom. It might have been one of my. I didn't like go through every bedroom. I mean, this is on my friend Tommy. This is on Tommy and Joey. If you really want to do
falling
this.
apart. Tommy, there was human feces on one of the dressers. Tommy.
He goes, there was
left in the
food
room?
garbage. He goes, there was food garbage left in bedrooms and mud tracked throughout. Hey, I'm not mopping these floors. There's snow everywhere. When we walk back from a Bills game, there's gonna be some stuff. Like your floors are not gonna be pristine.
I have to. I have to stop you.
I'd love to back you up here, Chris, but it sounds like you were way wrong.
So wrong.
What do you mean?
Very wrong.
The floor, so I should have mopped. So you're
Extremely
saying,
wrong.
no, so you're saying I should have mopped.
No, I'm
saying you left a mess.
Like
It's very
take
evident.
your shoes off at the door.
I'm not from the snow. I don't know how snow works. I don't know
I'm
like
saying your friend should have helped you.
I'm not from Buffalo. How am I supposed to know?
Your friend should have
Mud
helped you.
tracks.
What were your friends in this situation?
that's fair.
Eating in the bedrooms.
I think our audience right now, this really backfired on you, Chris Cote, because I think all
There
of
were
us.
3 large trash cans in the back. You never checked.
I think all of us would hit you with an excessive mess review.
Wait, he
if
did.
That was our house.
He admitted, he goes, I obviously need to provide a better shoe storage situation, which I'll correct before the next guest. Because there was like, it wasn't like there was something by the door. It was just, we walk in, and then he goes, again, not trying to be confrontational. I was just hoping for the same courtesy back. Like he tried to be all nice at the end. I'm on to you, guy.
Did he rescind his review?
No.
I don't think
there
he
you
should
go.
have. I think he was
Did,
well
did,
within
did they
his-
leave behind one of those like Airbnb guides that you get sometimes? Where
There
it's
was like a
there's
thing on
like
the-
a pamphlet?
You didn't read it?
I did read. It was
It was a cursory glance. It
bunch of
was a cursory
malarkey.
glance.
Bunch of malarkey that was.
We're looking for the Wi-Fi. That's it.
I had this conversation recently with my brother who's been staying someplace for months now, and he got really mad because they took a portion of his security deposit, and he's making the argument on behalf of why it is they took so much. And then I learned that he had 2 giant turtles eating up the entire yard and leaving turtle shit in the back. And I'm like, Dave!
In his
they left like
in his defense.
they left months of turtle shit in the backyard. And I'm like,
was there a note in the agreement to not have giant turtles?
they didn't
A
stipulate
little
it.
note for the next time.
Mike Schur, we're grateful to have a legitimate writer here because we don't know the answer to this question. If you're writing something in print and you're putting exclamation points and question marks to show your rage together, which comes first? The question mark, if it's a question, or the exclamation point?
Well, if it's a question, it's like, how could you do this or whatever, then I would put the
Excessive
question mark
mess.
first.
Excessive
and then the
mess.
exclamation point. But you know about the Interrobang. The real answer is the Interrobang, which is the combo platter where it's the same, it's one object. You could there's a command for it. I think on PCs it's like Command Shift / or something gives you an Interrobang, and that's like the real pros pro move if you want to do an angry question / exclamation.
All right, so I'm gonna lean on you here. I'm sending Pat Riley a note. How could you let Isaiah Thomas take your lunch money? The exclamation point goes after the question mark.
Yes, question mark first, then exclamation point. Correct. Yeah.
Welcome back. You were suspended for a couple of days. We are overworking you, obviously, at Meadowlark Media. He continues to open baseball cards on the podcast with Joe Posnanski. The numbers are way up for that podcast somehow, even though that's all they're doing. They're sitting around opening baseball cards. We are actively annoying and alienating our audience that doesn't want this anymore, except for the 90s people who love it so much that they think it's the highlight of their day. We've got real conflict. This is as polarizing a thing as we've done in a while, the opening of baseball cards. But what is the story, Whittingham? You've been an executive this week in a way that's been annoying. You've had to punish people and lead and be making all sorts of editorial decisions. Was Mike Schur suspended? Why wasn't he with us the last 2 days? He's supposed to be doing stat of the day every single day, so much so that my wife said, why are you doing that to that man? Shouldn't it be weekly? Shouldn't it be monthly? Why do that to him?
Well, he was suspended for insubordination because we have to do a top 5 every day this week to celebrate the Super Bowl, courtesy of our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. So after we were done with number 4 starters on Monday, I said to Mike, hey, Mike, we got to do some NFL top 5s. You went on backup quarterbacks whose names make you smile or any other NFL-related top 5s? And he said no. And I thought the insubordination merited a 2-day suspension. So I'm glad that you're back, but I mean, I hope you've reformed your attitude on doing these NFL top 5s.
I haven't. It was glorious to be suspended for 2 days. I loved every second of it. I slept in. I repaired my marriage. I did all sorts of things around the house with my kids, and I realized I found the loophole. I just have to be insubordinate enough to get suspended, and then I can escape this fresh hell that awaits me every single morning.
You thought you were going to get out of it by just making terrible content every day, but not around here, sir. Not at
I thought surely if I bore people to death by naming fourth starters whose names make you smile every single day, that eventually your viewers would rise up as one and drive me from your home. It has not happened that way, so now I just have to ignore. I have to do something that runs contrary to what you want me to do and get suspended. That's my only way out. I will do it. You want to do an NFL top 10 or top 5 today? I'll happily do one. You want to do one?
Sure.
Right. What's the topic? Give me. I need a topic and a second to make my list.
Well, we discussed backup quarterbacks whose name make you smile, so I mean we can do that.
And
right.
in the interim, though, because this should have been pre-planned as opposed to the planning meeting on air as we do this, we will get to that top 5. But which is the sponsored top 5 today? Is it that one, or would it have been another one if he continues to refuse to do it?
I mean, we could have pivoted and found another, but I think we stumbled onto something. I like top 5 backup quarterbacks whose name make you smile. It could even be, backup quarterbacks who played in the or were on Super Bowl rosters whose name make you smile. But yeah, I'm happy with this one.
All right, we'll end up doing this in a second, but first we got to play the stat of the day music. And before we do that, just what did you think as you woke up this morning to the Kevin Durant news, as somebody who is a Celtics fan who sees him go to Phoenix all of a sudden?
I was still awake last night when it happened, and there was a flurry of texting and excited exchanges on all of my various NBA text threads. I think the consensus, there were 2 things that stuck out. The consensus was like, now the Nuggets seem shakier in the West. Like, I was fully on board the Nuggets train. But now when you look at CP3, Booker, Ayton, Durant, and TJ Warren, who they got like thrown in, like that was an afterthought. That guy's good when he's healthy. He's real good. And suddenly that starting 5 looks like, to me, the best starting 5 in the West. And I feel like the big losers here are the Denver Nuggets, who I think we're going to have a pretty easy go of it, all things considered. The way to beat the Nuggets, I think, is to just smash into them down low, because Jokic is not nearly the defensive player that he is the offensive player. And now TJ Warren and Durant's 6'11" or whatever he is, 7 feet tall. TJ Warren's 6'9". Ayton is enormous. Like, they now have a really big, strong inside presence on that team in that starting 5 that if I were Denver, I would be very worried. I'm not sure how they match up against the East. It's too confusing to try to figure that out. But I feel like, crazily enough, that one move, even though they lost very good players, they lost every draft choice they had till 2031. They were like, all right, we've got Chris Paul. He's 37. If we make this move, our starting 5 is the best starting 5 in the West, and they did it. It's pretty bold, and I kind of think they're the best starting 5 in the West right now. It's wild, man. And also, all of the Eastern All-Stars are gone. Everyone, they're all leaving. Kyrie's gone. And thank God they do this draft system, because otherwise, who would be starting? Durant is gone. Kyrie is gone. Like, there's 3 guys. It's Giannis, Tatum, and whoever. I can't remember the fifth one. It's a very weird last-second talent drain that's moving east to west, and I mean,
Al Horford is staying in the East.
Al Horford's not going anywhere, baby. But at least from the Celtics point of view, from my selfish point of view, it's great. The Nets went from scary to essentially
don't care about that point of view. Let's go ahead and do the stat of the day.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
Witty, thank you for turning original sound on so I could hear the music.
Happy to do it.
Command Shift /
I think so. I haven't worked on a PC in a long time, but I think
This
that's what it is. Also,
Interrobang. So they recommend that you just copy and paste the Interrobang into like the notes section of your phone, and then you can copy it and paste it into your text. I'm going to incorporate this Interro. This is, first off, what a lovely name for a bit of punctuation.
Great name.
Secondarily,
Great name.
But secondarily, I'm incorporating this into my daily life. Thank you, Mike Schur.
welcome. Also, if I could say one more thing about the Celtics vis-a-vis the Nets, because since you told me that you don't care about it, I now have it as my mission to say things on air that you don't care about to try to get suspended again. The thing is, the Celtics have had the Nets number. The Celtics have handled the Nets very easily. They've won like 8 or 9 straight against them. It wasn't really the actual matchup that scared me. It was like the theoretical matchup that scared me. And now the order, here's a real top 5 list. Top 5 teams that scare me as a Celtics fan. The Nets were like 4th or 5th. I'm gonna actually do it. Give me the
All right, we're going to do that in a second, too. Hold on a second. So we've got top 5 backup quarterbacks whose names make you smile, and we've got top 5 teams that Mike Schur and his Celtics should fear, according to Mike Schur. But what's the stat of the day?
Folks, the UConn Huskies women's basketball team lost to Marquette last night, 59-52. This came a couple days after they lost to number 1 South Carolina in an excellent game, 81-77. And this is the first time that my beloved UConn women's Huskies have lost back-to-back games in 30 years. March 1993 is the last time the UConn women lost 2 games in a row.
That's nuts. Gino Auriemma washed. You say Pat Riley's washed after a couple of games. Mike Ryan has totally turned on Pat Riley today in a way.
Apparently. What's going on?
Oh, he's just emotional, and he's a typical Heat fan, and he's spoiled as well on top of that. But he's not entirely wrong that the Miami Heat have not improved this year in a way that I think Pat Riley, 8 hours out, would acknowledge represents a failure given where the last 2 seasons were.
You wouldn't know that Mike Ryan has turned on Pat Riley based on the heat that was coming off my phone last night as he was trash talking me, like virulent trash talk, angry, revved up trash talk about how the Celtics were frauds.
This is all he's got. Yes, he's going with the field though. It's not that he's going with the Heat against the Celtics. He's going with the field now because now he's just hating the Celtics. That's what he's given up on his Miami Heat.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't remember any of that. I was a couple of tanks and tonics in, but I do remember sending you one text, and that was just Kiko Calero.
Yes, you did send me a text that said Kiko Calero. That's correct.
Sorry for that coming in at 2:15 a.m. your time.
Top 5 backup quarterback names that make you smile. Number 5, Mike Schur.
Andy Stankiewicz.
He's playing a different game. That's a good one, though. That card is a great card. Andy Stankiewicz is a great name. Number 4.
Mark McLemore.
Can't wait till you pull an Archie C and Frocco.
It's not in the spirit of the game.
No, he's
What are we
cheating.
doing?
Well, because he's insubordinate now. He's a total rebel. This is not the game we're playing. Number 3.
Mickey Morandini.
Oh, wow.
Good name.
Love it.
I just realized if he pulls a Drew Henson, he's actually playing the game right.
He could actually do this with 5 of them. He could do it with like a Josh Booty. Number 2.
Craig Grebeck.
This totally against the spirit top
It
5
is.
list is
This-
presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app and use code LAF to get in on the action.
DraftKings, I am sorry that we are so bad at your sponsored content that Mike Schur will not follow the rules and Chris Whittingham can't read without a gaseous burp ending up in his cheek. Number 1.
Bip Roberts.
Yes. There we go.
Chris Cote, why are you laughing so
Woody
much
hated
at
that
Whittingham?
comment.
Whittingham did
He
not
hated that
like
comment.
Whittingham.
His
is
heart
seething.
broke.
Whittingham's having a tough week. And
Why?
Can
Why?
I just say the name Jim Drunkenmiller so it can make me smile?
he's having a tough week because there's a lot of decisions that got to be made, and God bless football is just generally hard to wrangle.
All right, so Mike Schur, for your act of insubordination, I'm not going to suspend you. I'm going to subject you to something that you really hated last week. Last week you came on and for Schursday.
No. It's Thursday.
No, it's
He's
Thursday.
scared of it. Yes, he's scared of them.
Schursday Thunder, Dan.
Yes, he's got
back.
a bet. He hates that he's costing people money. He hates being responsible for their money.
He came a half point away from winning.
Last week was hilarious.
So close.
You got to go money line.
He lost
A
by half a point.
Patrick Beverly free throw kept him from going 3-0. Welcome to
He
gambling.
had 2 chances. He had 2 chances to give me this crazy 3-team parlay that I agonized over. How do you people do this? I don't understand. I hated it so much. I hated every second of it.
Cody, can you think of a better indoctrination to gambling than your first 3-team parlay? You're a half point from winning. All you need is Patrick Beverly to make one of 2 free throws, and you get paid at 310. Plus 310.
I just love him experiencing gambling for the first time. Like, how do you guys do this?
And he doesn't
Poorly.
Want, he doesn't want the yes, poorly is the answer. He doesn't want the responsibility of this, of the pressure of it, that people will actually bet money on this. So let's pick. What are we going to do? A 3-teamer?
Right, yeah, we're going to do a 3-leg parlay for the Super Bowl, and it's going to be all Super Bowl based. So Mike Schur, the Philadelphia Eagles are -1.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
-1.5 is a funny line just because of what happened last week.
Just take money line. Just take money line.
They can't just
All right,
win by
hold on a
1.
Right.
So that means they have to win by 2 points to
Correct.
win.
Right.
Or we can just take the Eagles to win if that's better for
Nah,
you.
take the
Just
line.
lay it.
Come on,
Just
roll the
lay it.
dice.
Or you could take the Chiefs to win.
Oh God.
He did this last week. He takes a long time.
Well, he doesn't want the pressure of it, and we
I
haven't.
don't want to do it.
Can I tell you, my favorite bet of that Super Bowl is under 7.5 punts. A lot of units on that.
You have a lot of offense.
If you just said Curtis Painter, we wouldn't have done this.
You know what? Lesson learned. Lesson learned. I would so much rather find some dumb backup quarterbacks than have to give anyone the feeling that I know what I'm talking about. and that they
but
should
let's
listen.
Bruce Gradkowski.
Are you guys forced to do this as a football and a Super Bowl bet? Because I would actually like Mike Schur, if he cares about anything in basketball here, to make bets that he actually thinks are going to happen versus us foisting upon him.
He is being
It's no
foisted.
better in basketball.
As punishment, we're foisting.
All right, I'll take the
Jesus.
I'll take the Eagles. I'll take the Eagles.
He's taking the Eagles -1.5. That won't come back to bite him. The over-under for the Super Bowl, Mike Schur, is 51. Do you like over 51 points or under 51 points? You look like you're about to start crying.
He
Mike
does-
Tomczak.
He looks like he's eating hot peppers. He looks like he's in a great deal of pain, maybe passing a kidney stone.
That's a lot of. Well, it's what 27-24. I'll take the over.
All right, over 51 at -110. And finally, Mike Schur, just because I know you like this particular thing, our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook are offering a prop this year. Will there be a scoregami in the Super Bowl? Yes is +2,000. No is -10,000. Mike Schur, will there be a scoregami in the Super Bowl?
That's ridiculous.
God.
This is an absurd parlay. If he goes -10,000, there will not be a unique score in the Super Bowl. Even though, do you realize, because he loves scoregamis, if you were to bet the scoregami here, this would be a monster parlay. You're going to cash a monster.
There are very few scoregamis left that are reasonable, and it's an absurd bet to say that there will be a scoregami.
You
A
should
Super
take
Bowl
it.
scoregami though would be.
Yes.
Come on.
Come
I
on.
mean,
Well, bet for your own happiness.
Chuggies across America.
Bet
Oh, my God.
a unique score in the Super Bowl that we have never seen in a Super Bowl, right? Not in a football game.
No, this is in a football game, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's what scoregami.
Yeah, scoregami is we have
Yeah.
never seen a score in a football game.
I
So
thought
it's
it'd
like
be just
40,
but
43 to
Super
11.
Bowl would be hard enough.
Happens like 4 times a season.
Yeah. Well, not anymore though.
Yeah, because they're running out.
Because they're running out. I mean, the way that it would happen is if it were like 51-49 or something crazy. Like
So
you
you're
have
saying
to get
under 7.5 punts. David Klingler.
For my own happiness, I'm going to say two things. The first thing is please, I beg no one to listen to me. Do not listen to me. Do not think of this as good advice. It is not. I don't really understand what I'm doing. But for my own happiness, I'll say yes, there's just going to be a scorigami.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's stealing the money of the people,
Plus
of the
2,000.
people who bet that.
Do not listen to me. I'm telling you, there will not be a scorigami in the Super Bowl, but I need something to root for. So I'm going to say there is, because if it does happen, it will be the greatest day of my life.
Caleb Haney.
Top 5 teams Mike Schur fears as a Celtics fan. Number 5.
The New York Knicks.
Really?
Yeah. The Knicks are sneaky good. They beat the Celtics recently. I mean, this is only in the East. I'm not doing the West. This is only in the East.
Sneaky good, though.
They're in the East. They are. They have a weird ability to get hot, and they just traded for Josh Hart, and there is like I have a tiny bit of fear about them in the back of my brain.
Number 4.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
They're good.
They're good, man. They have the second highest point differential in the league, I think, or at least in the East. But I'm pretty sure the league.
They're fun, too. Number 3.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Mike, are you fearing them now? Now that you're out on the Heat, the Sixers are good this year. The Sixers, this is the best version of these.
I fear the Hawks. I fear the
everybody.
Orlando Magic.
Number 2.
Magic beat the Celtics 3 times this year. Number 2 is the Milwaukee Bucks.
He has set this up so that we think he's going to go Heat here, but he's not going to go Heat here. Number 1.
The Miami Heat.
Really?
Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
He
The
fears
Miami
Himmy.
Heat terrify me. They terrify me. You know how many free throws? Woody, tell everyone how many free throws the Miami Heat took last night.
38, I believe, and they made 35 of them.
39.
Oh,
39, and they hit 36. And they once again grabbed a team by the throat and slowly suffocated them and dragged them down into the muck and the swamp and the misery of the way they play basketball, and won by 4 points by taking 39 free throws. And Jeremy Taché weighs in. It was so beautiful, he says. And then afterwards, Bam Adebayo says, it's like I'm throwing the ball into the ocean. The hoop looks as big as the ocean. Yeah, it's easy to play basketball when you're standing still and no one's guarding you because you're doing nothing but shoot free throws.
He's finally getting calls, though. There wasn't a worse officiated player in the NBA last season than Bam Adebayo, so it's good to see him finally get the calls. You're welcome, by the way, because if it were not for Jimmy Butler falling on the Brooklyn Nets star Kevin Durant at the time, you wouldn't be feeling as good as you do this morning. It's the dominoes that were falling. Jimmy Butler falls on Kevin Durant's leg, and the final domino is Chris Paul finally gets an NBA championship.
Like any good, cheap, third-rate assassin, Jimmy Butler just takes out the competition, eliminates his enemies and his opponents by intentionally crashing into their knees and wiping them out and getting them traded. I'm not going to thank him for that.
Heat basketball, baby. Goodbye. Welcome back. We will talk to you again tomorrow.
Bye.
What is your proudest news break?
Well, if I'm fucking right on this Messi, well, I am right on the Messi thing, but if he comes here, holy shit, your boy is Himmy. I reported today that Jason Candle turned down the University of Miami to stay at Toledo. Second straight year that's happened. Also, trying to confirm it through another source, but I hear Charlie Strong asked out. So a lot of turnover in that Miami staff. But again, that's not an official report. That's not a scoop for the soup. I think Charlie Strong might be out.
But what are you putting behind that Twitter paywall? Because there is information there, and you mentioned the Messi thing. You are trolling Messi's biographer. You are trolling a guy who is hugely credible on the
Fabrizio?
on the subject of Messi, and all your reporting again and again and again is that Miami is not out of this. Miami is very confident that everything that's happening with Messi right now is real, that it's not leverage, it's not negotiations, that Miami believes it has a good chance to steal the soccer player of our time.
Yeah, they're talking every day. Inter Miami and Messi's camp, flatly talking every day. So he's very interested in Inter Miami. I know there are other reputable reporters out there that are reporting on the PSG stuff. I'm not doubting that PSG feels very confident. They have every reason to be because they never lose. But I'm telling you with 100% certainty, Miami is in this. And my confidence in their ability to get this done has only grown over time because their confidence in their ability to get this thing done over time has grown. There have been seeds planted for years on this, and every indication is that Lionel Messi remains incredibly interested in Inter Miami. I'm not making this up. No one is more plugged into this than I am on the planet. I'm not in the room, but I might as well be.
As a reporter, you should
As
say.
a reporter. You can have the international global soccer market. That's fine. No one is on this beat on the Inter Miami side better than I am. Flatly.
And if you want that kind of information, because you're just giving people sprinkles, as you
want
call
Schefter
it,
to talk like that.
soups for the scoops or scoops
Tell
for
me
the
to get better
soups.
sources? Can't. Impossible. Impossible.
According to my sources, I'm the best.
I am. Take that one to the bank.
I wish Schefter had more Stephen A in him.
Bravado.
I love the floor with all your ashes.
I love this character.
That's it, please. No more.
Sandman, you're killing it. That's why you're here, not there.
Thursday, Chris.
No, but I do laugh, and soccer reporting is such a zero-sum game, Dan, that it only matters. And I've already gotten used to this. All that's going to matter in the end for me to be right or wrong is what jersey Lionel Messi holds up, and that's fine. It's a stupid zero-sum game, and people are going to think that I'm wrong in my reporting if he re-ups with the Qataris. That's not what's happening. It's just I laugh every time someone tries to undo my reporting because what I know is just the tip of the iceberg in what I'm sharing. I know so much more than what I am sharing with you because I want this to get done. I think this is huge for the game in this country. I think a lot of people stand to make a lot of money, and I'm not going to show cards that undo it. I want Messi here. I think there's a lot of money in the resale market and for people that cover this game and want it to grow. So I really hope that this can happen. I'm glad that Inter Miami feel good about their standing in it. Any report that suggests that Inter Miami is not in this and that it's done and dusted that he's going to PSG is false. Flatly false.
As we demand growth around here from our company, I think you should absolutely be the insider because you have reported things here and you've done reporting that has been national in scope on the University of Miami and on soccer. I do believe you should create the hybrid character, though, that also has performative sort of wrestling cocky Schefter, some version of cocky Schefter where you're giving good information, but you're also doing so the way you just did, which is no one is more plugged in on this story on earth.
No one on the Inter Miami beat is more plugged in than I am. I can say that. May the Lord strike me down if I'm lying. I ain't lying. I'm telling no lies here. I haven't told a single goddamn lie. I shouldn't say goddamn after tempting the Lord's fate.
No one has more sources than Mike Ryan.
On this front. On this very small niche.
It is. It's a tiny
in
beat.
this very tiny niche that I have available to me because maybe no one else wants it on Earth. But I have been favoriting some tweets. Heaven help you if Lionel Messi signs with Inter Miami. Because if you're going to make this a zero-sum game.
You've been keeping receipts?
If you're going to make this a zero-sum game and it becomes Inter Miami gets Lionel Messi, heaven help a handful of reporters on this planet.
I thought Shams was flexing when on Basketball Illuminati this week. He dropped off so that he can break the Dwayne Dedmon trade news, which is a pretty crappy news break, if we're being honest. But
it happened.
But it's still like a flex.
It happened
like,
on
hey lad,
Basketball
sorry.
Illuminati.
Yeah,
he
like
had to stop what he was doing to say that the Spurs had acquired Dwayne Dedmon, the mechanic.
Yeah, but it was still one where it's like, whoa, look at it. Look at Shams. He's flexing right now. We were talking. Now he's got to report stuff. I mean, this is a whole nother level of flexing right here.
Witty, who knows more about this than me?
Nobody.
There you go.